Alright, what up guys, Ichikoate here with another video, and today I'm about to tell you guys why I actually like Tekken 7 Fated Retribution more than the original concept for Tekken 7. Now let's get started. You already know what I'm gonna do. Gonna split it up in a few things: story, scenery, gameplay, and character design. Well, I was gonna say development. Anyway, let's get to the first thing. The story of Akuma being in the game. Does that really spark my interest? And kinda sorta. This is only for the fact that he's a Street Fighter character, and it's interesting to see that the person revealed at the door was Akuma. Now, Harada could have put anybody at the door that he wanted to. I'm pretty sure that he has a long list of characters that he's probably not even going to use in Tekken 7, that he's not even putting into the game, and characters that haven't been put in the game yet. So he could have put anybody in there, but for the fact that he put Akuma in there, that's pretty dope considering the fact that they're still in development for Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and for the fact that means Street Fighter's canon in Tekken universe. Or maybe just Akuma's canon. Maybe Akuma can go in between universes or something. You know, he's OP anyway. Yeah, that makes me question a certain thing, but before I get into that question, here's pretty much what the story is. Man at the door was Akuma, and Kazumi wants somebody to defeat Heihachi and her son Kazuya, because ever since they've been pretty much in the Tekken scene, meaningless killing has been happening all across the world. So, I'm looking at this like this. Alright, so apparently, since we got nobody in Tekken, well, maybe almost nobody in Tekken, but pretty much nobody in Tekken who can beat these guys, we gotta go and get somebody from a different video game to take these guys down. Because, let's be honest, he's gonna beat up Jin, Heihachi, and Kazuya if they're all three in a room together, fighting anybody on Tekken. I mean, maybe there's a few characters that'll give him a little fight, but it's, in the end, it's like, no, you're not gonna win. I mean, maybe everybody can jump him? Nah, that's not even gonna happen. Point is, we need Akuma in this. Now, here's the thing for me. If this is actually going to be some type of epic fight, they're gonna be struggling against each other. My problem with this is the fact that Akuma is so OP, I don't see how in the world Heihachi or Kazuya are gonna struggle against him. These people can't even, they can't even destroy, let's say, they wouldn't be able to destroy a whole entire forest in one blast. And Akuma can punch the moon into the earth. Considering how powerful, and that's not even his full power. Considering how powerful he is, I'm really questioning how. Now, my only theory towards how would be that possibly Akuma and the Devil Gene is linked together. That would explain how, you know, Kazuya is able to survive great falls and everything like that. Somehow, the Devil Gene is probably linked. You know, Akuma can do all these red looking moves with, red eyes, and so can, Kazuya and Jin. So, wow, I said the wrong Jin, but I hope nobody knows that. Oops, I just noted out. Anyway, yeah, that makes it a little bit questionable. If it's the same exact power, and they're just probably calling it something different on Street Fighter, or maybe it's a upgraded version of that same power, the Raging Demon and everything, then that could be pretty interesting, and it could explain actually why Kazuya or Jin would be able to put up a fight with Akuma, as opposed to them not even being half as strong as Akuma. But anyway, that shouldn't be the whole entire argument. I can't get into scenery, which the scenery is just as good as the last game. I mean, maybe a few minor detailed work in terms of the scenery and improvement, but I mean, I don't think the scenery should be really the talk of this whole entire video, because I believe it's pretty much the same stages, just a little bit improved graphics, and, well, I can't even fully say graphics, it's just minor detail work. But the interesting part for me is the characters. First thing, bow, they popped her out, Asuka, right in front of my face, as if Harada actually heard me or something. It's like, okay, you want me to fix your character? Here we go. And, wow, enough said, they fixed her, but, there's still an actual problem. Now, it's not enough detail or depth into actually how her face looks. The thing that, a good example of how her face looks would be very much so on Tag 2 in the up close, face perception. But, I mean, with the new design that they got, you can still have a different design and still have the character look like the character. But, that's just one small problem. I don't have that many more complaints about Asuka anymore, because they did a major good job fixing that. But, that's not the only character that they fixed. They fixed another character, but in the trailer next is Brian Fury. I like the fact that they got the scarf on Brian. Matter of fact, not just Brian, all these characters seem more interesting with these new character designs and these costumes. It was just utterly amazing. Like, when I saw this trailer, I was like, okay, that's cool, Akuma's in here. But I also gave it a squished up mad face because I don't like seeing Hadokens or actual high version, a jumping version of a hell sweep. I don't like seeing any of that stuff or Hadokens. I mean, they are sidesteppable. I don't know if they're blockable. Which, if Eliza's fire should be unblockable, why can't I mean, if Eliza's fire is blockable, why can't the Hadokens just be blockable too? Just have an EX version of Hadouken and a regular one. Regular one is blockable, EX version unblockable. That'd be good for some setups too, which would be pretty nice. But anyway, back to Brian Fury. That concept for him is amazing, and if I was a Brian player, that would have been a costume that I would have long waited for. Kind of like I've been waiting for Asuka's forward 1 move in this video game, and they just now put it in there. Other than that, we got Lily. Oh man, they actually fixed Lily. She doesn't look like she's wearing a big wig or anything anymore. Looks like she's wearing a normal size wig. But no, seriously. They fixed Lily to an extreme point that still lets her fit into the video game. And I have to give them like a super round of applause for that. Next thing, Dragunov up in here. I mean, we get only a short scene of Dragunov, but I mean, just like any other time, he's got some suit on, and looks like they just put a new suit on him. I don't have much to say about Dragunov. Leo. I do like the design, the idea of Leo's hair growing a little further. For some odd reason, that makes me think it's a more interesting character, the new design that they have for Leo. I don't know why, but, oh, I think I know why. Because Leo now looks like a Final Fantasy character. You might as well throw her in 15 and call it a day. Oh my goodness. Alright, next character that they actually presented is King. And I don't know if I'm comfortable. I'm assuming that all of these new costumes are their default costumes or either their third player or second player costumes. And if this is King's default costume, I'm not too that much interested in it. I actually like King's older default costumes for almost everything. So, it didn't too much interest me at all. Lars, I freaking hate Lars. And this costume is still a Ninja Gaiden ripoff. But, I only hate Lars in terms of gameplay. It's a character. Lars is one of my favorite characters, actually. And with that being said, I think he deserves a better costume. I mean, I like that costume, but if that's the #1 default costume, I'd rather you keep one of Lars's old costumes or either dumb down his old costume. Yeah, because this costume isn't too interesting to me. It's cool and everything, and it just, for some odd reason, it doesn't strike my interest. But that was totally an opinion right there. So, yeah, regardless if they change it or not, it's not a bad thing. It's not like they messed up his character design or something. Moving on to the next character. They'll show, I think there were no other characters after that. But after that, they showed like a plethora of rage arts and stuff. Oh no, there was one last character after that. They showed Xiao Yu. Now, that's one of the most interesting things on this whole entire video in terms of character design to me. Xiao Yu. First in the older Tekken, you see her come in as a playful, kind of skillful character. But there's people stronger than her. So basically, as she goes on throughout the series, you see that she has to get a little bit more serious. So obviously, just because you can beat up Heihachi's bodyguards, don't mean that you can go fight those guys against Jin and everything. So it looks like, from this character development itself and the design, it looks like, for one, Xiao Yu's matured, even though probably story-wise she's probably the same age, which is very strange, but I'm not going to talk about that. For two, this leads me to a question. But before that question, something that notes that she's matured is the fact that from Tekken 6, from Tekken 6 to Tekken Tag 2, you see the slight maturity in Xiao Yu, even though Tag 2 isn't canon. But that raises a question to me. And that question is, will she still have the butt slap taunt after she wins eventually when this game comes out on console? Because that's a note of Xiao Yu when she was less of a skillful fighter, but she was still good in terms of a fighter. But this whole costume to me, it strikes as, I'm more serious, I'm more mature, and I'm about to shove my kung fu up you somewhere. But yeah, let's get done with that. The next thing that was on the trailer was showing Fang Wei. Now, Fang Wei has some interesting designs with the freaking claws on his finger and his new costume. But I don't want to go into great detail about that. I just like the costume, because if I go into detail about that, it's more so my opinion instead of fact. And I just like the costume just because I like it. Other thing, gameplay. We can sidestep Hadokens. Sidestep Hadokens all day. To the left, to the right, Hadoken. Everywhere, Hadoken swag. And that still just has me questioning if we can block a Hadoken. I'm hoping so. But I'm almost having a feeling that it's going to be kind of like Jinpachi's Fireball. But if it's faster than Jinpachi's Fireball, then I actually have something against that. Because Jinpachi's Fireball is unblockable because of how slow it is. And if Akuma's, you know, if you play Street Fighter, using a regular Hadoken does not take that long at all compared to Jinpachi's Fireball. So I'm not gonna be all that impressed if it's not taking that long, and then they're just having us have it as an unblockable, and you only can sidestep it. In that case, Akuma better be in like major negative frames whenever you sidestep that move, so you can actually do a regular punish or a launch punish or something, because that just doesn't sound right. I mean, the mechanics have not exactly been said and solid, so I'll just see when I see it. So that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to share, comment, subscribe, and always finger that like button. This trailer was freaking awesome, and for me, Akuma wasn't the main attraction. It was the character costumes. Peace.
Bist bereit?
始めようか。